Hi guys, welcome to today's live. My name is Zuzzi. I'm a Czech NLP coach and mindfulness trainer, and today I'm so excited to welcome you in the interview with one of my masters, Buddhist monk Lompi John Paramai. We have fantastic topic today. We are going to speak about how is spirituality and mindfulness important in our business and projects and business life. So let's welcome our interviewee, Lompi. So we are connected. You can write us. Where are you watching us from? If you can hear us well, see us well. Hello, Lompi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. I am so excited. So, where are you right now?
I'm in Thailand at the moment.
Okay, great. What is the time there?
It is 8 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay, wow. All right. So it's a very big time difference. I am in Canarian Islands and we have
Ah,
time. We have at 12 midday. Okay. So
okay.
we are actually in the past and you are in the future.
Yes.
Okay, so today we are going to speak about amazing topic which is very close to me and many, not only my clients but also my friends, they asked me about this topic, and this is how to bring the spirituality, mindfulness into the business, because as you know, in Europe we are living in really very fast world. Here in
Yes.
Canarian Islands, Spain, maybe Italy, it's not so fast as in the north on Central Europe. And basically the people, they have so many activities, so many projects, and they are just jumping from one thing to another, and they get, what happens is that they get very overwhelmed, they get stressed very easily. And today I prepared a couple of questions from them, and maybe you would like to introduce yourself,
Mm-hmm.
why you would like to share this topic with us, and then I can give you the questions if you want.
Well, I'm Monk John, and actually, I become a Buddhist monk 11 years ago. And before I became a Buddhist monk, I was a computer software developer or computer engineer, and I work with IT, I work with software development for 10 years. And there was like a turn of my life that I got a chance to ordain as a Buddhist monk. I intended to do it for 2 months, but those 2 months already have become like 11 years. So that's my story short, and maybe we can, yes, continue with the talk.
Okay, good. So my first question is, as I am solo entrepreneur, for the last 7 years, I work as a coach, trainer, and mindfulness trainer. So the
Yes.
biggest issue is actually that I have so many tasks and I have to do everything on my own. And I believe that many people who are solo entrepreneur, they know that we have to do marketing, we have to do accountability, we have to do everything on our own. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we get overwhelmed and we actually do not
Mm-hmm.
see time for meditation or mindfulness, even
Mm-hmm.
that this is something important. So my first question is, why should be mindfulness or spirituality even important for our business as a solo entrepreneur, as coaches, therapists, consultants, counselors?
Um, if we take a look at the definition of entrepreneur, an entrepreneur is actually someone who kind of start a new business, right?
Yes.
And usually will be that will involve with taking risk, or maybe doing something new, something that people never done before, in order to be sustainable in uh, the economics or the present financial situations or something like that. So there are some characters of an entrepreneur that we can talk about. Maybe you can also tell me if you agree about these characters or not. The first one, that you need to have kind of big motivation, right? If you are not motivated in starting your own business, then your business is not going to go very well because even
Mm-hmm.
you yourself do not believe in what you're doing. So that's the first one, motivation. Second, innovation. It's not just about what you want to do, but you have to do them very well. You have to do them like no one can ever done it before. And third, you need to be patient because when you started a new business, it won't give you like satisfying fruits in few months. Maybe it's going to take you a few years. Maybe it's going to take you longer than that. And next, we need to have also communication skills in order to find our partners, our network, people who have like-minded um, ideas or approaches, bring them together to support us. And the
Mm-hmm.
last one is we need to have also integrity in order to show people not only about our skill, but how we are very honest with them. So these are some characters of an entrepreneur, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
that we might be agree on. So if we take a look at these characters, um, the meditation is definitely, or mindfulness is definitely something that we need to practice. Why? Because if we do not practice mindfulness and meditation, we can't actually develop those characters without needing to sacrifice or needing to actually how would I say is like for example patient. If you want to be patient with your business, then a way that we can practice a very easy way is to close our eyes and stay with ourselves. And if you are able to close your eyes, stay with yourself for a while, then you will be super patient about yourself. And when you are able to be super patient when you meditate, then you are also able to be more patient with situations of your business as well. That's the
Mm-hmm.
first one, patient. Innovation, for example, you can be creative with your business, but if your mind is full of thoughts, if your mind is full of problems and you can't let that go from the mind, then your mind has very few space, very little space to be creative.
Be
So
creative.
in order to be more creative, then the mind needs more space. The mind needs um, more space, and also the mind needs to be a bit more relaxed. And that is how mindfulness and meditation can be useful for us.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
Yeah.
these are some examples of how mindfulness and meditation, they are related to entrepreneurship, for example.
This is perfect. Actually, I observe it on myself when I started
Yes,
my business. I was super impatient and I wanted everything so fast. And I observed this with a lot of friends who are entrepreneurs in the Czech Republic,
yes,
that they
yes,
want the results very fast. And if the things are not
yes,
happening they are expecting, they want to give up. And
yes.
yesterday I was speaking with my friend. She just finished her coaching training and she was
Yes.
telling me, Zuzzi, you know what? I think that this is not for me because there are so many coaches already in the Czech Republic. And yeah, so I will rather give up. And I said, come on, but you didn't even try. And she was like, yeah, but there are so many coaches. And I was like, but there are so many ITs, there are so many nurses, there are so many doctors. You cannot just say, I will not do it because you don't want to try or you don't want to even fail because she's not patient enough to go step by step. And I remember that I was creating really step by step. And when I was doing it for 2 years, I expecting having hundreds of clients and it was not happening and I wanted to give up. So
Hmm.
I understand how the word patient and be patient is super, super important for an entrepreneur.
Right. And not only that, we need to be patient. We need to understand that there are two parts of an entrepreneur. First, the characters of being a good entrepreneur. Second, the lifestyle of an entrepreneur. So these are two different things. And we're going to talk about these two different things today, I guess.
Okay, yeah. If you want to mention it now.
Yes. Basically, every entrepreneur needs to have a certain character in order to like be a good one. For example, you need to have patience, as I mentioned. Then you need to be very creative and come up with new business model. And you need to also be honest and be kind to your people, and also be honest with your clients, with your customers, and you need to be able to have the communication skills. And then you need to be always motivated and can inspire yourself, can motivate yourself. So these are five main characters that actually is not from me. It's not. This is what I also try to learn from the word entrepreneurship. But I can help connect these five characters with mindfulness and meditation, as I mentioned earlier, like patience, for example. One thing that we got from mindfulness and meditation is we learned that nothing is under our control, because
Yeah.
we live in the world with a lot of uncertainties, with the nature, with economics, politics, and people that are not in our control the whole time. So when we try to control them and we can't, sometimes we can, sometimes we cannot. If you never really learn how to let that go from the mind, that is going to build up as pile of problems. It's going to lead to explosions, stress, and anxiety, and a lot of, you know, um, things that we keep in our own mind. So if we are able to let go, for example, at least while we are waiting to get to the result, to the destination, we can also be happy and enjoy our life at the same time. I, I guess that being an entrepreneur, it doesn't mean that you have to achieve your goal already to be happy. But if you are able to enjoy your life every day, you are also able to motivate yourself and keep having hope, and also inspire people around you because you have fun in what you're doing. And in order to have fun in what you're doing, then you need to actually learn to let go and be happy with the present moment. So mindfulness practice is very recommended for an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree to be happy with the present moment. This is exactly what I was talking about regarding that we don't have the amount of clients we would like to have. So this is like
Mm-hmm.
being, I would even add being grateful for what we have already reached, and then
Mm-hmm.
being patient that it will, and being secure that it will go if we invest the time, the energy every day. So the results have to come.
Mm-hmm. And also, we need to be able to communicate very well. For example, to connect to people and to actually, sometimes they even say that you don't see people as your competitors, but you actually see them as people that help you grow together in the world of business. So in the world of business, there is no real competitors, because sometimes competitors becomes alliance, allies, for example. So it is best just to be able to see positive side of people and sometimes neglect negative side. In mindfulness and meditation training, we kind of train ourselves to be useful positivity over negativity. And when we are able to, to focus more on the positivity rather than negativity, then we can see people as our friends. We can connect them together and form an alliance that will help everyone reach the goal.
I like this Lumpy a lot because I remember when I started as a coach, I remember that I saw other coaches as a competitors. And now,
Yes.
thanks to mindfulness, I changed completely the mindset. And I'm actually creating right now a team of coaches where every coach is focused on something else. And we can help much more people because when a person like this morning approached me
Yes.
with a topic of depression and this is not my focus, I can just direct him to a specialist which is in my team. And like this, we can
Hmm.
help even more people with a team which just on our own we would not be able to.
Exactly. And this is also when you start helping people, one day they're going to help you back, because this is the law of giving. This is the law of attraction. Good mind will attract good mind. And this is how you actually uh, will be in a situation that you never really lack people around you. And you're not alone in the world of business. Sometimes when business is going down and you really need someone to help you, people that you helped them before is going to be there to help you one day.
Yeah, I totally agree. This is beautiful. And I think this is one of the invitation why the solo entrepreneurs or even the digital nomads or remote workers who are working just from the computer and sometimes they can feel alone as it happened to me here in Canarian Islands. When I came, I had no friends and no one. So when I reached actually other therapists or other people who are doing this kind of work here in the island, I didn't feel like a competitor. I felt more like, how can I enrich you with my experience and how can we like bring these things together?
Hmm. And one thing we mentioned about motivation, innovation, patience, communication skills, and networking skill in general, and also integrity. This one is also very important because trust is a one-time gift. And once you started to not being very honest with your customers, with your clients, you never really gain that trust again. So we normally we have to be able to provide ourselves proper justification. What is positivity? What is negativity? What is right? What is wrong? What we should and what we should not do. There are some rules and some uh, norms in business world that once you break them, you never really earn people trust again. So this is this one word like out of business. And this out of business is actually from your own doing because you probably were kind of dishonest with your client and then you never really given a chance to redo your actions. So with these five characters, there could be more because when I look at the
Mm-hmm.
list from Google, from internet, people talk about something, but they are very similar to what I share with you. There could be about, being passionate, being motivated, being optimist, but more or less you can group them into these five. So I define them as five characters of an entrepreneur.
Great. And actually, I had a question here. We
Yes,
are we are greeting anyway. We are greeting all of you who are watching us, and especially we are greeting Tanya to Honduras. We are greeting Brunel to Benin to Africa.
yes.
We are
Mhm.
greeting Sunruet Thai and Nastrina and Mahaviharai. He's saying it's a great discussion, or she's saying it's a great discussion. Okay, thank you very much. We are happy. And the question here we have is what to do
Yes.
in a daily busy life as a business person. I need some practical tips. I don't know if it helps to go to the meeting room and close my eyes for 5 minutes. Is it worth it? What would you recommend? Which practical tips in our daily business life or company life?
think about you own a phone. When you own a phone, you probably need to make sure that you have enough battery in order to use the whole day, for example, because these days the new phones they consume more batteries than the old ones. We don't actually talk about the old Nokia in 10 years ago anymore, but when you talk about the new iPhones or Samsungs, they consume more battery. So if you charge your phone in the morning, then maybe by the end of the day, 5 p.m., 4 p.m., your phone is almost completely out of battery. So one solution is to charge your phone during the day. And these days, many phones also have wireless charging when you can just put your phone and touch it on the charger, and that charges wirelessly. And if you can charge your phone several times a day, it doesn't have to be a full charge. Sometimes just 5 minutes charge. These days they have technology called fast charging. So you can just plug in a cable and after 15 minutes, it charges to 80% of your phone capacity already. And this charging several times a day is what we can do with our meditation practice. So make sure that you leave your house full of inner peace, ready working for your day. And during your day, you also make sure that you charges your inner peace several times. So your inner peace doesn't actually go down to level 0 or minus something. And if you can do that, you will be able to, by the end of the day, you don't feel totally depleted. You don't actually have a feeling of getting burned out, and you are ready to come home, meeting the one that you love with smile on your face. And I think this is very important because if you return home with grumpy face, angry face, with negative energy, then people waiting for you at home will also feel probably sad, and they feel also helpless because they wanted to help you, but they don't know how to do that. So instead, one thing that I would recommend any entrepreneur to follow is to leave your work at your workplace and to come home with an ability to let go of negative emotions and enter your home with smile and happy mind.
Okay, all right. So do you think that they should do it like some exercise during the day, or they should do it in the morning? What would you recommend them?
I would recommend, for example, I mentioned that you need to fully charge your phone in the morning. So you need to fully charge yourself with inner peace in the morning. What about some 15 minutes, 20 minutes in the morning? And throughout the day, one practice that we normally do is to recharge yourself every hour, 1 minute. If you are able to close your eyes at the beginning of an hour for 1 minute, being able to let go of all the work in front of you and close your eyes for a while, you will be able to recharge yourself, let go of all the worries, and feel that the big problems that you are facing seem smaller. Sometimes when we face a certain problem and we don't know how to deal with it, we feel like this problem is the biggest one in the world because it's our problem. But sometimes when you close your eyes and you are able to keep your mind with inner peace, with clarity, when your mind becomes clearer, you feel that the problem you're facing is not such a big deal anymore because you remove the fear from the mind. And the fear is the things that magnify the size of the problems. So mindfulness and meditation is going to make big problem smaller and not the other way. It's not going to make small problem bigger.
Okay, wow, I like that. So make the big problem smaller. I think it's actually
Mhm.
a good tip which could help a lot of solo entrepreneurs when we have no one to talk about it with or to assess ourselves with. So it could be good just to use this 1 minute technique to close our eyes and breathe, or to use this 20 minutes technique and to start the day, like to recharge in the morning and in the evening. This is perfect.
Yes.
Okay, so I have here another question. Why I should care about the spirituality in my business? I care more about my clients and about the income which I am receiving every month.
Actually, there is a research saying that if you do not have any money, you are not going to be happy. So money equals happiness. The more money you have, it seems that you're going to be happier. But there is a line, a threshold, saying that if you earn more than 80,000 US dollar a year, that's a lot of money. I think I remember the number correctly, but maybe I'm wrong. So if you earn more than certain amount of money already a year, but you try to earn more than that, the amount of happiness that you will get from the money that you earn more is not going to be proportional. It's not going to be the same. So if you earn 1 million US dollar a year and you earn 100 million US dollar a year, there is no guarantee you're going to be happier. Maybe you're going to be in worse situation. So you see that the equations that money equals happiness can be used on the bottom or maybe at just the starting point when you had no money, right? If you have nothing to eat, if you have nothing to wear, or maybe you don't actually have any security in your life, you're not going to be happy. That's for sure. You need money. But when you have some money already and you want more and more and more, that additional amount of money will never guarantee that you're going to be happier. So that's my point. It means that maybe by the end of the year, after you've been fighting so hard with your competitors, with the market, trying to capture the heart of your clients, but you probably will get a lot of money, but then you don't feel happy at all after all, because it seems that after working tirelessly the whole year, the amount of happiness that you will get is not satisfying. So if you actually ask this question, why spirituality is needed in order to survive the business, it's not about the business that will survive, but it's about your life that will survive or not. Because if your business survive, but maybe you're going to go to hospital and maybe you need to pay big bills for your psychologist, psychiatrist, that is not going to be a good approach and maybe a good end. And we don't actually want that. We want to be able to enjoy our life, to be able to enjoy our business, and to be able to work like this for not only 10 years, but maybe 20 years, 30 years, or maybe forever, right?
Yeah, totally. I totally agree. Okay, yeah, it must be always in a balance. I remember actually that you were mentioning in the training that this is something like a chocolate cake, that when we have a chocolate cake and we just try a first bite, we are like, wow, we really love it. And when we have a lot of chocolate cake, we really don't appreciate it. So this would be like a metaphor for the money, which you were mentioning, that we need enough money for enjoying the life. And exactly as you mentioned, when we have more, it actually doesn't bring us pleasure. And some of my clients who are millionaires, they are approaching me not because they are super happy, they are actually having everything and they are unsatisfied inside. So it is showing that not the success and the money is the only way, but it should be balanced. That not only money, but having the money and having the mindfulness, having the inner satisfaction and happiness is actually what can bring us the satisfaction in the life.
Right. So in fact, our life is about two things. First, happiness. Second, usefulness. You will probably see that many billionaires, once they earn a lot of money, they also consider founding like an organization or a foundation helping people. For example, Bill Gates. Now he uh, throw a large sum of money to Africa in order to
Mm-hmm.
solve malaria problems or in order to provide access to toilets and clean water or something like that. So it seems that the more you have, it's not about your own happiness, but it is about how you also make people around you happy as well. And that's why we actually see a lot of people uh, trying to do social entrepreneurship or something that they can also return to the societies as well. So happiness and usefulness. But of course, initial happiness, you need more money. But once you have too much money, then you feel like, yeah, what do I do? That doesn't satisfy me anymore. So now I'm giving to people, and I feel that my life is more fulfilled.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, I totally agree. Okay, we have here some comments from the viewers. So we have a viewer from India, Raman. So we are
Yes,
sending
Raman.
things, Raman. And we have here a Mahaviharaya. And she said, thank you for considering the first Theravada Sri Lanka Buddhist temple in South Korea. And then
Mm-hmm.
Raman, he says, dear beloved master, I discontinued PhD because my value clashed in private university and people can't help. And my passion is gone. So what is next in my life?
I'm not sure what he meant about his value clash in private university. Is that he doesn't have like um, any passions to continue, or he doesn't have um, enough money to pay. I'm not exactly sure what the problem was about. But okay, now that he has to discontinue his PhD, life is not over, actually. You don't actually need a PhD to be happy. I got a PhD in computer, and now I'm a Buddhist monk. My PhD is not of the same value anymore. So you got to move on to in your life and try to actually find what you um, first, what you will do in order to sustain yourself and survive. So how do you actually pay yourself? How do you actually have financial sustainability? And second, it has to be what you love, because if you don't do what you love, then that is not going to be very meaningful. And maybe after a while, you started to feel bored and you don't actually want to continue again. So try to find not only what you do to gain the payment, but also what you love as well. Maybe you didn't love what you did in your PhD, and that's why you stopped. So maybe you explore into the other areas. You talk to people. You try to invest your time in different activities, and that is going to help you to find what you really love in your life. So there might be the questions: how do I know that I have found what I love? My answer is when you can't stop yourself from thinking about it. It's like you think about that job, or you think about that activity, you think about that dream from when you wake up until you go to bed. You keep thinking about it the whole time. And your mind, you can't just take it out from it because you really are into it. And that is when you have found what you love. And if what you love is what you are capable of, like you can do it very well, that is going to be very supporting as well. And if what you love is what the world needs, like um, it is very useful for your community, for your people, for your country, and for the world, it is going to make you proud. And you can't actually stop smiling when people they say that they really appreciate what you're doing.
Okay, I have another question here. Why is mindfulness important for success? And why do successful people meditate?
Um, why mindfulness is important for success, right? Because they are actually what we call for formulas in order to gain success. First, you need to be mindful in your dream. Mindful of your dream, sorry, mindful of your dream. Um, when I say mindful of your dream, the word mindful is not two words. It's just one, sorry, it's not one word, just two words. Mindful of the dream. Okay. So if you are able to keep, like have a very, very clear visions of what you're doing, then you're likely to be more successful when you are doing something with your whole heart, but not half-hearted, something like that. So if you control your energy more than 100%, and you are really 200% in what you're doing, then the success is going to be more, I would say. Think about yourself. If you are still reluctant whether things that you're doing is going to be successful or not, you don't actually really believe in what you're doing, then the success rate is going to be lower. So you need to be successful. Sorry, you need to be able to believe in what you're doing more and more and more. And how to actually believe that? We need to first clear the doubts from the mind. And the quality that we have from meditation, the meditation is going to reduce negative voices and amplify positive voices. We usually have negative voices that will bring us some fear, some uncertainty, whether we should do it, whether we should quit. But when we are able to reduce and remove negative voices, we are able to amplify our belief and have a clear visions of our dream. So mindful of the dream. And second, when you are able to really believe in what you're doing, you're going to persevere automatically, naturally. We try to persevere, we try to put more effort, but usually they are not natural. They come because we want to be successful. That's why we try harder. But if you believe first, if you actually have 200% of what you're doing, then you are able to persevere harder. That is going to be more automatic. And this is about putting effort and doing time management. And mindfulness and meditation is going to be to help us be aware of our time, that we use our time on something productive, that we use our time on something very critical to our goal, to our success. Think about yourself. If these days you are still spending 5 hours on Facebook and not with your work, why don't you actually take those 5 hours and invest more in your work to be more successful? But you are unable to do that because you're not mindful of how you use your time. So mindfulness in your time is going to help you to persevere better as well. And third, you need to be able to focus on what is right and neglect what is not. Being able to find what is right and what is not actually can be a product of mindfulness and meditation, because mindfulness and meditation help us to reorganize our thoughts. We usually have thousands of thoughts and they are everywhere. We don't see them clearly. But once we meditate, we reorganize our thoughts and eventually we see the right thought. We are able to focus on the right one. And once we keep our mind focused on the right thoughts, on the right thoughts, on the right thoughts, that will come right observation. We are able to observe whether we are doing it correctly or we are not doing it correctly, whether we need to improve or things that we're doing is good enough already, whether we should call it a quit or we should continue to take some more risks. And these are something that mindfulness and meditation are really related to 4 steps to success. First, have the passion. Second, persevere more. Third, focus on what is right. And fourth, try to observe what you need to redo or what you need to change or to fix.
Perfect. Actually, Lumbi, you replied to Seen Srimam because she was asking how can we keep our future dream alive since along of a lot challenging and failure. I think you just answered that right now.
Mhm. Right. And there is one saying that being an entrepreneur, you don't actually, you should not be afraid to fail. And there is even like a saying in the Silicon Valley, in the startup businesses in the US that you need to fail fast. You need to fail when you're very young. But in fact, you should not fail aimlessly. You should not actually keep failing. You should try to win. You should try to make it correct. But just don't be afraid to call it a quit when things are not right. And how do you actually call it a quit? How do you actually know that things are going it right or not right? That comes from intuition. You know, people who are very good in business, they also have what we call intuition from the mind. It just comes from inside. And this intuition comes from what? Intuition comes from a clear mind. When your mind isn't clear, it is like a water surface that is filled with garbages, which you can't see anything within the water, maybe in the lake, on a river, which is full of garbages. But once you remove the garbages from the surface of the water, whether this the water in the lake or in a river, you can see clearly what is inside. And that is how we have bubble of thoughts coming that we call intuition. And this intuition is very useful in business because it's the wisdoms that help us to actually tell and put ourselves ahead of competitors or maybe the crisis or the situations that sometimes we need to survive.
Mm-hmm. Lumpy, thank you so much. I have two last questions before we finish. And the first one is the typical one, I would say, for the Europe. And it is, I am very busy and I don't have enough time to meditate. So what should I do?
Think about meditation as a way to clean your mind because normally no matter how busy you are, you're going to clean your body. You're going to take a shower. You're going to brush your teeth anyway. You know, do you know any successful people that do not brush their teeth at all, that do not wash their body for years? Maybe there are some, but eventually, we know that in order to also be a successful business people and also be someone that people admires as well, you need to take care of yourself as a role model. So if you need to take care of your body, why don't you take care of your minds as well? You can just sacrifice some minutes in order to um, close your eyes and to meditate. I'm not talking about 2 hours meditation as a monk, but you can meditate 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And this is what many successful people they are doing as well because they know that the more or the harder their task is, the more they need to be prepared. Abraham Lincoln once said that if he were given 6 hours to chop a tree, he would spend first 4 hours sharpening his axe. If you are not ready, then the road ahead of you is going to be full of obstacles and maybe failures. But once you make yourself ready, physically, mentally, with enough knowledge, with enough mind power, then you are able to walk with confidence. Would it be nicer if you walk on your path with more confidence than you walk with fear? This is up to you.
This is beautiful. I'm happy that you mentioned the word confidence because a lot of times I observe, even with myself or with my friends who are solo entrepreneurs, that we are losing the confidence that we can do it, or we are even doubting about our skills and knowledges. And the last question would be probably if we are doubting, or when the fear comes, like probably they will reject me, or I will rather not send my offer because they will reject me, or I will not go to the yoga studio to offer my mindfulness sessions because they will not like it. So these kind of thoughts, what to do with them. I believe that a lot of solo entrepreneurs, if they are copywriters, or they can be even consultants, or they can be, I don't know, a lawyer. So if they have these like limiting beliefs or fears in their head, what would you recommend them to do?
There are four reasons we have fear in the mind. First, we fear of the future because we are not ready to face uncertainties. We don't know what is going to happen in the future. That's why we have the fear. Second, we fear of letting go of our past, things that we're doing. Maybe one day we have to let it go. But if we are unable to let it go, we can be also out of business. For example, in the past, you probably were using, I'm not sure if you ever used BlackBerry. It's a phone. It's
Yes.
a very good phone. You have keyboard and then you can text your friend with uh, BBM, BlackBerry Messenger or something like that. The company could not adapt to the fact that in the future, phones will not need any more physical keyboard. When they are unable to let go, now they are also out of business. So this is also the second reason we have to fear. We are unable to let go of our past. So we are unable to move on. We are unable to change ourselves. And third, we have we have low experience on changing ourselves, on adapting. We are unable to adapt. And third, our mind is sensitive to negativity more than positivity. Okay, so when we talk about these four things, first, fear of the future. Second, unable to let go of the past or the current situation. Third, we have very low experience on adapting, on developing, changing ourselves, or changing the business as a whole. And fourth, we tend to focus more on negativity over positivity. That's why the fear kicks in, and we will not be able to work with our fullest potential because the fear will block the true ability to emerge. Especially the mind is everything. What you think, you become. If you never really thought that you are going to be the best actor in the world, you will never be the best actor in the world. If you never really thought that you're going to be the best footballer, the best athlete, or maybe the best in your business, you will never become one in the future. So the fear blocks the true ability of the mind to shine. If we are able to block the fear, we are able to be successful in our business for sure.
Wow, I love it. So thank you very much, Lumpy. And if there would be a one thought or one tip after all these 45 minutes which you would like to leave our viewers with, what would it be?
I would say that being an entrepreneur is a, it's about living our life and being able to cope with changes and being able to find happiness in for ourselves. First, you need to have a life. If your life is just full of liars, if your life is just full of something that you you're not really proud of yourself, that is not called a life. So entrepreneurship, being an entrepreneur, being in business, it's about living a life. Think about that. Is this my life? This is going to be a life that I'm proud of in 20 years, 30 years from now. If I have a time machine that I can go to the future, will I be proud of myself today, or on the path? So you need to have a life And the second is you need to also have as well an ability to cope with the changes. When the mind is ready, you'll be able to cope with the changes better. It means that you should not be afraid too much with the future. You need to be able to let go of the past. The present moment is where you belong. So meditation and mindfulness help you to stay with the present moment. And when you are at the present moment, you are not very afraid of changes because the fear is removed and then you can work with your fullest potential. And lastly, you are able to enjoy your life without needing to reach your goal. Usually, the mind of people these days is about 0 and 1. If they haven't reached 1, they are 0. If they are still along the path, they are not happy. If they haven't reached their goal, they consider themselves as a failure. But what you actually gain from the walking the path is experiences that should be summed up with something that you should be proud of yourself. So if you think about what you learn from the path, it means that you're going to be ready for the next battle, for the next fight, for the next beginning. And there is no limit on how you will fail. Many people will actually have a lot of failures just to discover a successful big success one in the future. So if you are still in a shaky situation, then you can restart at any time.
Wow, thank you so much, Lumpy. I would like to invite our viewers, if they want to get more about the meditation and how they can start, they can actually use the Peace Revolution platform online where they can go step by step. And if they need any individual platform or even individual assessment, they can approach our peace architects. They can approach me online. I'm peace architect here in the Canarias, but actually we are peace architects all over the world. So you can approach us. We will be more than happy to help you. There are also in this platform our beloved monks, so they will more than happy to help you, support you in your journey. Because as I know, 7 years daily meditator, I know it's very challenging. The beginnings are challenging. We have all been there. And if you want to go even to something more intensive, you can go to a retreat either to Thailand, where we are doing several retreats a year. We are organizing also a retreat in London, and we are going to have a retreat in the Czech Republic in the August. So thank you
Oh,
very much.
really? Thank you.
And thank
Thank you,
you.
Susie. And one is like you are a wonderful host today.
Thank you. Thank you. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for watching us. We had a lot of viewers today, so we are so excited. And I hope that you will share this video with your friends, with your family, because this knowledge which Lumpy John joined today was so precious, not only for me, but for everyone who is either sole entrepreneur or who wants to create some new business. So this knowledge is very important. So please do share or comment. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.